I was never the type to believe in ghosts or anything supernatural, but what happened during my night shift at Taco Bell still gives me chills. It was a typical Tuesday, nothing out of the ordinary. I'd been working the late shift for a few months, and the place was usually dead quiet after midnight. The occasional customer would come through the drive-thru, but for the most part, it was just me and the fryer. That night, around 1:30 a.m., things started getting strange. I was working with Miguel, a guy who had been at the store for years. He liked to tell stories about weird things that supposedly happened during the late shift. Voices in the kitchen, doors closing by themselves, that kind of stuff. I always thought he was just trying to spook me. We were cleaning up for the night, ready to close in a few hours when the door chime went off. I looked over to see if someone had walked in, but the dining area was empty. No cars in the parking lot either. Miguel, wiping down the counter, just shrugged. Probably a glitch. Happens sometimes, he said casually, but I noticed him glance over his shoulder, almost like he was expecting something. I brushed it off and got back to cleaning. A few minutes later, I heard the door chime again. This time, it sounded more like it was right behind me. I spun around, but again there was no one there. The door was still locked, and the parking lot was empty. "Hey, did you hear that?" I asked Miguel. He nodded, looking a little uneasy. "Yeah, I heard it." We both stood there for a moment, listening. The restaurant was silent, aside from the faint hum of the kitchen equipment. Miguel chuckled nervously. Maybe it's just the wind. But there was no wind. The windows were sealed shut, and the air outside was still. I was starting to feel a little uneasy, but I didn't want to show it. I went back to wiping down the tables, trying to shake the feeling that something was off. About 10 minutes later, I heard it again. This time louder, like something had knocked against the door. I turned to look, but the door was still closed. The sound wasn't coming from the front entrance, though. It was coming from the back, near the storage room. Miguel and I exchanged glances. He looked pale now, like he was actually scared. "That's not the wind," he muttered. We decided to check it out. I grabbed the keys and unlocked the door to the back room. The storage area was small, filled with boxes of ingredients, cleaning supplies, and a few old shelves. The lights flickered as we stepped inside. "Hello," Miguel called out, half joking, half serious. I laughed nervously, but deep down I was hoping no one would answer. As we stood there, the lights flickered again, then cut out completely, plunging us into darkness. I pulled out my phone to use the flashlight, but before I could even turn it on, I heard something. A faint whisper, like someone saying my name. "Did you hear that?" I whispered to Miguel, my heart pounding. He nodded, eyes wide. "Yeah, I did." We both stood frozen, listening. The whisper came again, clearer this time. It wasn't coming from inside the room, it was coming from behind us, in the kitchen. Suddenly, there was a loud crash, metal clanging against the floor. We ran back into the kitchen to find a tray of utensils scattered across the floor. But no one was there. The back door was still locked, the windows sealed. We were the only ones in the building. I felt my stomach knot up. This wasn't normal. Miguel picked up the tray, his hands shaking. "I swear, man, this place is haunted. I've been telling people for years, but no one believes me." I didn't know what to say. I just wanted to get through the shift and get the hell out of there. For the rest of the night, things only got worse. The door chime went off randomly. Utensils clattered to the floor without explanation. And that whisper, my name, over and over, kept coming, like someone was standing right behind me. By the time we closed, I was on edge, jumping at every little noise. I locked up the restaurant as fast as I could, practically sprinting to my car. Miguel and I didn't say much as we left, but I could tell he was just as freaked out as I was. I never worked the night shift again after that. I switched to day shifts, where the sun was shining and the restaurant was full of people. I told myself it was just a bad night, maybe a prank, maybe a glitch in the system. But deep down, I knew something else had been in that restaurant with us. Something that wasn't supposed to be there.